What was Nashville like back then?
The reason that I went to Nashville, my first gig as a professional musician was with David Allan Coe, who was like the
Holy
fucking
shit.
outlaw personified,
Right.
Holy shit.
and his bass player recommended me for the gig, and I was 19 or 20, and I was young and cocky and said, well, if I can play like myself, I might be interested, but if you want me to play like somebody else, probably
That's why I
not.
fucking love you.
Oh,
yeah,
This is
20
why
years
you're the
old.
GOAT, dude.
And-
This is why you're the GOAT, dude.
20 years old, by the way.
It was like being in a band that was more like a biker gang.
So it's real. It's not
It's not
fake.
it's not an act, huh?
I had been in the band less than 3 months before somebody pulled a gun on us. So
Hold on. Tell us that story. Tell that story. What happened? It's fucking crazy.
I might have to tell it to you off camera. Actually, it's
Okay,
more
yeah, no
exciting if
problem.
I could.
Yeah, tell me.
Story
okay. Yeah,
redacted.
story redacted. Andy Frasco's World Saving Podcast. I'm Andy Frasco. How's your heads? How's your minds? How's your soul? Nick, how's your fucking soul?
I don't have a soul.
That's true.
I sold
Nick,
it.
he sold it to do trivia every Monday.
I sold it on eBay at $60.
He sold it so he could ask people about what O.J. Simpson's doing now.
Check out the new Wrong Trivia podcast on a YouTube channel.
You are getting so good at it. I keep,
Last one was fire that you were at. I was
Dude,
banging.
that was
I'm
so good.
riffing. I'm out
You're
here
good.
riffing.
You're
I'm
really
I'm
good.
playing the room. I'm gonna take it on the road, man.
You're very good.
Evan was talking to me about maybe doing a live one at Serves with a live band.
I
know. I love telling you shit.
I hate you so much.
I'm just
sometimes.
fucking with you, dude.
I fucking hate you so
no,
much.
I've just been pitching at them and they're finally listening about it.
You know how long I've been asking to do this?
No, but I've been asking them.
It's okay. It's okay.
Let's
Fine.
make it about
yeah,
you.
Evan. Shout out to Evan.
Jesus Christ. I didn't say
Shout
it
out
was
to
his
Evan.
idea.
Shout out to Evan.
I swear to God, I'm going to murder you one day.
Oh, put a gun to my mouth.
I'm just saying they're finally open to the idea, not they thought of it.
You're so hot when you yell at me.
Well, sometimes you need to be yelled at so you'll fucking listen for once. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. We got Warren Haynes on the
Lashana
fucking
Tova,
episode.
or whatever the
Shana
fuck you fucking people say. Is that what it is?
Yeah, Shana Tova.
Yeah, I'm more of a New
It's Yom
Testament.
Kippur now.
Yom Kippur.
Yeah,
How
we got
long's it?
Warren Haynes on the fucking show today.
Yeah, he's the
Insane.
man.
Dude, that was awesome interview.
I want to buy a Gibson Les Paul now and just start shedding, man. No, I'm just kidding.
He's got a great hairline, too.
You know who he kind of looks like?
Who?
Jason Hahn, a little bit. Did you see that, too?
That's a brilliant.
Yeah, he looks like Jason Hahn.
Holy shit.
Jason Hahn, actually. My bad.
Jason Haynes.
Both great guys.
Warren Haynes drinks a little more water.
Yeah, he looks
You
a
could
little...
tell his hair. You could tell he does facials.
Yeah.
Jason Haynes does do facials.
I'm just saying they come from the same composite, if you will.
Yeah,
Both great musicians, both great guys. So.
true.
We got to get Jason back on here sometime.
We
He's
should.
he's
It's been a
fun,
minute.
He's a fun hang.
Yeah, we should start getting more people that we had a while ago.
He's never been on since I've been doing it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll get him on.
Yeah.
We'll get him on. But we have Warren Haynes, Allman brother, fucking legend, Gov't Mule. I'm having him on the show because we're going on tour with them next week. Yeah, I can't believe we're touring with Gov't Mule. I'm
He's
curious
so
to see how
chill.
that fan base reacts to our shows.
I think they'll like you.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're white.
Yeah, they'll like you either way.
What?
Pretty funny. Pretty
It's
funny.
a big demographic, so it's good.
Yeah, I'm excited. Any updates on you, Nick? Are you pregnant?
I am pregnant. I'm 6 months pregnant.
You look good for being 6 months pregnant.
It's a dinosaur. No, I'm just kidding. No, pretty much everything's the same. Just chugging along.
Yeah. Are you happy that we're back? My tour's over and now we're back on the grind.
Great to have you back.
Great to be back.
It's great to have you back, Andy.
Last week I had so much fun with you. We're giggling after trivia. We stayed and just
We did.
we did gossip. We were gossip little
We were
girls.
gossiping. Everyone was like, "What the fuck?"
We were
'Cause
laughing.
we were sitting at the bar like this.
Yeah,
and everybody around us
like it was
wanted to
date
talk
night.
to you,
Yeah, we're like,
and they're like, "Go away, Nick."
shoo, bird.
Yeah.
I want to talk to Nick.
We were hanging.
Yeah, what a blast.
That was fun. That was after trivia, right? Yeah.
yeah, it was a
And
good
then
time.
And then you didn't want to hang out the next day for some. Remember?
Oh yeah, I know why. Because
We were bad.
we were bad boys.
You were badder than me. You stayed an extra hour
I
and a
stayed
half.
an extra hour and a half, and I just
See?
I was talking with Carly. She's funny.
She's a
I don't
funny
really,
gal.
I don't really get to talk to Carly. She's hilarious.
She's like
She's
humorous.
smart too.
Yeah.
And I was hanging out with Anna. I love Anna. I love Anna.
Very high approval rating for her.
Oh, I love
She's
Anna.
the best.
Anna's the best.
She dresses cool too.
And she's just so cool.
Barbara, that's who he's talking about. The Barbara drummist.
Oh, she's just the coolest. I just I'm smitten every time I hang out with her.
She's a sweetheart.
Yeah, she's the best. Yo, Warren Haynes.
I went to Rougarou with her.
I don't even have to do an intro. It's the GOAT.
If you don't know who Warren Haynes is, stay and listen. You'll learn.
Yeah, one of the best guitar players that's ever existed. And he mentors everyone.
A good
Even
Southern
a
man.
little guy named Derek Trucks. Heard of him?
Ever heard of him?
Ever heard of him?
He's in Tedeschi Trucks, I think, right?
Yeah.
He's the trucks part.
Yeah. So you're gonna love this interview. I want to just get to it. We should just get to it. So shout out to Volume.
Do you think he was ever like, I'm playing with trucks, and people think he's playing with little toy trucks?
You think Warren has a hog?
Yeah, for sure, dude.
He's gotta
He's
have a
so
hog.
chill, and whenever guys are that relaxed and confident, hog.
Yeah, he's just like he. I think people have hogs when they put their shoulders down. If your shoulders are down, you're kind of walking like this. You have a hog.
There's a relaxation.
This is why I walk like this.
There's a relaxation to having a big hog, I think.
I know, just so it's probably just so freeing.
Yeah, when they get there, it's gonna be good. You know what I mean?
Here we go. 5 minutes in, we're talking about Warren Haynes' penis.
We didn't talk about hog at all the last episode.
I think Derek Trucks has a hog,
dude. Both a literal and figurative.
Oh my god, that thing is like a snake going through the Amazon.
My god, you're probably right though.
He's in the bathtub. It's just like, it builds its own wave.
There's a gravitational pull.
It's like a whirl. You don't even need the jets. It's just his hog just working so hard.
Wow. We are adult men.
Here we are, 37-year-old men talking about other men's hogs.
Have my mom listen sometime.
Yep. All right, guys, enjoy Warren Haynes, and we'll catch you next week. Oh, I have shows. Hold on. Hog. Who's next week after Warren Haynes?
Hog City. I think it's me and you or something.
Yeah, I think it is. Oh, no. Yeah, it's me and you.
Just kissing. And...
we're going to kiss. And we're going to have almost a Halloween special. You know what Nick, I need to book your flight. I just talked with Todd. We're doing the holiday extravaganza.
I'm going this year?
You're going this year.
Hell yeah. Is he going to let me in his house?
Yes.
Okay. You can never tell if he likes me or not.
But it's Thanksgiving time.
Okay. my family doesn't do Thanksgiving.
Okay, perfect. You'll do Thanksgiving with my family.
Yeah.
You'll do Thanksgiving with my family.
Cool.
And then if you want to bring Julie.
She might be down to go to LA.
Yeah, for a weekend.
Todd would love Julie.
They would love each other. And
oh my God.
She takes mushrooms, right?
She would, yeah.
Cool.
She has.
And yeah, all right, cool. And then
just depends on the dog.
It's the Friday.
Yep.
After Thanksgiving, we're going to take mushrooms for a high dose and do a 3-hour podcast.
That sounds amazing.
It's a lot of fun. We buy leftover and we just make turkey sandwiches and we eat a shit ton of mushrooms. Yeah.
Turkey and mushrooms.
I'm flying out to see Todd for his show.
That's before that, bro.
Yeah, this is next week. I'm flying out to see Todd November 3rd. 2 weeks.
I want to see one of those shows sometime. When's he going to come to Denver? And
I'm doing the open. I think he's got dates in Denver, but he's really focused on this. He's already sold out 4 shows.
Well, that's what you do. You sell out the New York one, and then everybody else wants a piece of Todd.
Yes, I can't wait to see Todd.
The most likable man on earth.
I talked to him yesterday. He yelled at me about my speech, about
your politics thing.
Yeah, American speech.
Why? What was he mad about?
He said
curious.
You're too in the middle. When you're, I'm like, that's the point of social media, so people can debate.
I don't think you were that in the middle, actually.
I don't think so either. I think
that you were just. I don't think you were talking about like that. I don't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
No, but Todd's very opinionated. He's really proud of me. So he's my mentor with like comedy and how to do social media. So I think he was just trying to,
I get where he's coming from, like from one angle, but I don't think that's the angle you're taking. I think
I wasn't.
You're just like relaxed, and maybe one side needs to relax more than the other.
Everyone needs to calm down.
Yes. Nobody panic.
Nobody panic. I'm just a musician talking politics.
I mean, but you weren't talking politics.
I wasn't. I was talking about human nature.
You didn't say one.
Everyone needs
They don't need to equally calm down.
Anyway, enjoy Warren Haynes. This is a call to action. You guys love this podcast. This is your way to support us. Head over to volume.com/Andy Frasco and support the podcast. It's $5 a month. You're going to get extra podcast episodes, extra Nick episodes, Monday morning motivations, the whole 9. Keep this podcast going because I love doing it and I want to just be part of this forever. We just need your help. So head over to volume.com/Andy Frasco. Subscribe to our only Frasco podcast because without you, Nick will be on the street. And do you want Nick to be on the street? No, I don't want him to move into my house either. Okay, so you either subscribe to this
or Nick will be on the street. All right, bye.
Wow. Round 2 with one of the greatest guitar players that's ever been existed. Warren Haynes, how you doing, buddy?
Doing great. Thank you for the compliment.
Oh, how's it been, my man? You put out a new record. Are you excited about it?
Yeah, I mean it's been great. You know, the past I guess almost a year was I released uh my first solo record in about 10 years this past November. And so we started touring around July or something of last year. And then we just released the companion piece to it called the Whisper Sessions. And it's like stripped down versions of a lot of the same songs. A really interesting concept. And I'm really pleased with the way people are reacting to it.
Were you nervous about how people were going to react towards it because it's different?
Uh, you know, I guess to a certain extent. I mean, I'm kind of used to doing different things through the years and kind of I think at least my audience knows to expect the unexpected. So you know, uh, it's nice when people respond positively, but I I feel more like it's about making myself happy first. You know.
Yeah. Like, what's the difference when you make a Mule record and a Warren record?
Well, I think Mule kind of has its own sound. And so if there's a Mule record on the horizon, then I'm writing with that sound in mind. And then I think also the lyrical approach in Gov't Mule is kind of a unique thing. That's one of the ways that I separate the songs. Uh, I usually, if there's a project uh, in the future, I'll write with that project in mind. But a lot of the songs get written in between times, and I don't decide until later after the song is finished which way it should go, if at all. Sometimes a song might not belong in either camp, you know. But um, it's fun deciding, and I feel like there's always room on a Gov't Mule record for one or two songs that could have been on a solo record. You know, there's no steadfast rules.
You ever has there ever been a time when you gave the song to the wrong group? Like, ah, fuck, I should have kept that one. Damn it. God damn it.
Well, you know, not really, but you know, it reminds me of going back to my first solo record, which I did in 1992, that came out in 1993, "Tales of Ordinary Madness," which Chuck Leavell produced, and the song "Soul Shine" was on the list of songs that we might do, and there was about 25 songs, and we had to narrow it down to 11 or something, and we decided not to include Soul Shine on that record. Maybe that was a good decision, maybe it wasn't. It's hard to say, but it wound up being recorded by my friend Larry McCrae, who did the first version of it, and then the Allman Brothers did it not too long after that. Um, so that was just kind of a weird happenstance sort of thing, but that you know, if we had made a different decision, Soul Shine would have been on my first record.
Yeah, and like, yeah, that would have been, damn, that would have been fucking legendary if
If we
Soul
all-
Shine was on the first record.
If we only had a time
Well,
machine.
maybe not. Who
But
knows?
also,
Yeah,
you
true.
know, it also goes to how you're going to produce that song, because that song is so intimate. Like, maybe Chuck wasn't the right producer for that song, or maybe he was. You never know.
Well, and also, we had made the decision that it was going to be more of a rock record, and we felt like Soul Shine was a little too much R&B
Hmm.
for that record, and that was kind of the decision making process. Yeah, a different producer or a different approach might have changed it. The demo that I did way back when was pretty similar to the way Gov't Mule does it now, but an odd kind of uh, part of that story too is when I made the demo, it almost became a reggae song. We tried it reggae and really liked it, and we tried it with the more R&B approach and liked that a little bit better. So we had to choose, and the R&B won. So you know, it could have been a reggae tune. And then later on, Phil Lesh and friends used to do it reggae, which was fun.
Next thing you know, you're in the Wailers.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
I could hear Warren do Jobless.
Opening for Slightly Stupid or something.
Yeah. Hey Warren, I got a question about guitar and guitar for future generations. Do you think the guitar is dying?
I think it intermittently kind of goes away for a while and comes back. I kind of feel like it's always going to come back. And I think we're in a pretty good place right now. There's a lot of good guitar music out there. It usually is about the music or an artist or a band that comes along and kind of brings it back. But people have been asking that question for decades. You know, I think going back to early 90's when people were saying rock and roll was dead. And, you know, bands like the Black Crowes came along and proved that it wasn't, you know.
Right.
So yeah, I think it's kind of a sine wave. People get tired of whatever it is they're hearing and something fresh comes along and kind of changes their palette for a while. But I kind of feel like guitar's here to stay.
Yeah. Do you any new bands you think that you like, you dig?
Or just guitar players?
Or guitar players?
Well, there's a bunch, you know, I don't stay as on top of it as I probably should. That band Robert John and the Wreck is cool.
Oh, sick.
I think that's what they're called. I dug them. Of course, Marcus King is making a lot of headway. But I think there are a lot of young kids that are hearing like Derek Trucks playing open E, like this guy John Stashula that plays with Allman Betts band, are kind of taking the cue from the open E slide guitar thing, and there are a lot of people breathing new life into that these days. This band Dirty Honey that I heard recently, it's kind of a rock band in the traditional sense of the word, and I think it's fun to see people kind of a generation that didn't grow up hearing all this music that we heard,
right?
And they're discovering it for the first time and discovering bands that keep that music alive as well. You know, it's so odd because like we get these young kids at Gov't Mule shows occasionally, and they're 14 and 15. And they're just now discovering Gov't Mule, but they're also just now discovering Hendrix and Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd, you know, so
and Warren Haynes.
And that music, it has the same effect on them that it had on us, you know.
Do you remember your first memory of who played guitar? Was it then you're like, holy shit, I needed to do this?
The spark.
My first three guitar heroes were Eric Clapton, Jimi Hendrix, and Johnny Winter. And that really inspired me to want to pick up guitar. Prior to then, I had mostly been listening to soul music, you know, the Temptations and the Four Tops and Wilson Pickett, and Otis Redding and Aretha Franklin, Sam and Dave. And my older brothers were also listening to the Beatles and a little bit to the Stones as well. But, you know, this is going way back. So everything I was listening to at that time, I was focusing on the singer and the songs themselves. You know, I remember hearing B.B. King, and the fact that he played guitar and sang was really interesting. But I fell in love with his voice before I even realized he was a guitar player. But I guess once I heard Cream and Hendrix and that stuff, it really shook me up. You know?
Yeah. Any of them assholes? You know, sometimes they say don't meet your heroes.
I've been lucky that way. You know, there have been a few people that I kind of purposefully didn't meet or didn't push it, you know. But for the most part, I've been lucky that everyone has been pretty cool. You know, I'm lucky because most of the folks that I met through being a member of the Allman Brothers. So there's that kind of built-in respect factor that makes it a little easier than I would if I was just Joe Schmo. I was amazed when I joined the Allman Brothers in '89. Obviously, I knew how much respect I had for that music, but I don't know if I knew how much the whole world looked at the Allman Brothers music with such reverence and respect. And so every door imaginable opened at that point.
What were the backstage and the after parties like in 1989 versus 2025?
No camera phones.
Well, yeah, right. And also versus, the old days, because when we did the reunion tour in 1989, everybody was either sober or trying to get sober
Yeah.
or something along those lines. There was still some struggling going on, but it wasn't a party vibe backstage. And of course, fast forward, I was in the band for 25 years.
Shit.
It only got more and more familial, or I guess less and less raucous,
Yeah.
but I can only imagine the band in the old days, which is legendary for
Right.
the backstage, just the lifestyle just being off the hook,
Yeah.
The doctor's order store.
Were you like the doctor's order store? Because like, was that ever in your DNA to party? Were you a partier? Doesn't seem like you were really a partier.
Not that much, going way back, I stopped drinking alcohol, I think around age 24
Oh,
or something
wow.
like that. And it wasn't because I needed to, it was because I had a stomach ulcer issue and I had to stop. And it was because I went to Europe in 1983 and contracted some bacteria that gave me these serious stomach issues. And the doctor told me I had to stop drinking if I did. And they said, when your stomach heals up, you can start back. And I just never started back. I kind of enjoyed not drinking,
Yeah. Seems like you always get fucked up when you're in Europe or Costa Rica or
Yeah, right. Broken shoulder blade.
yeah, like what the hell? What's going on?
Oh shit. And so I should stay home. That's what you're trying to tell me.
Yeah. Stop enjoying your life.
Yeah, stop enjoying. Don't
Yeah.
fucking take a break, Warren. Just keep working.
I never thought of it that way, but
Is it,
I've been lucky. I've traveled the world playing music, and what a great opportunity.
I want to talk about that 89 years for a little bit more, and then we'll talk about present stuff. Was it a weird dynamic being a new guy in a band that's had so much ups and downs in the band? And like, were they listening to you as no pun intended, as a brother?
Right.
Or was it, did they just approach you like the new guy? Could you like actually open up to them and like bond and talk about their addiction and talk about how you could be a brother to helping them get through? Because you never really partied. So like you'd be a great resource to kind of get them through to sobriety.
Well, when I was asked to join the Allman Brothers, I had been in Dickie's band for 2 or 3 years at that point. So that kind of was an initiation period for me. I don't feel like I was just thrown into the situation.
Right.
And I also had written songs for both camps. I had been writing with Dickie for his solo record at that point, which I was part of. But I also had written a song that was the title track of Greg's most recent solo record at that time. So they brought me in as a songwriter in addition to a guitar player, slide guitar player, and singer. They let me sing from the beginning as well, which was amazing. But I think the fact that I was already working with Dickie kind of helped, at least helped me feel more comfortable. I don't know if it helped them, but we had a lot of discussions. I wasn't involved in trying to keep anybody sober or anything. That was more of a individual personal thing. But there was a lot of just deep discussions and hanging and life, especially in the early days, because I knew Dickie pretty well at that point. I knew Greg a little, but we became closer and closer over the next few years. And Greg and I and Alan Woody shared a tour bus together. And that bus was having fun, listening to music and comedy and just enjoying life. Um, you know, so it was somewhere in between everybody being sober and everybody being fucked up.
Yeah. Was there anyone in the band where there was, looking back in retrospect, like there was like friendly competition or like kind of just like butting head competition to try to like either be accepted by one another or who could write the better song? Was there any stuff like that?
Well, I think there was because it was the Allman Brothers, there was this feeling that the new guys had to be uh, an equal part of the music,
Right.
not necessarily the songwriting, which I was lucky that they were including me in, but contributing on a musical level, bringing your personality to the table, much more so than most bands that had been around for a long time. The dynamic between the old musicians and the new guys, it had to be a much more, at least on stage, much more of an equal musical kind of situation because that's what the Allman Brothers was all
Right.
about. Where most bands that would reunite and bring in new members, it would be the original members in the front and the new members in the back, and there would be this definite wall between the two. But it wasn't like that in the Allman Brothers. And once we made the decision to go beyond the reunion tour, it became more, even more that way. You know, I was really thankful that I was included in the songwriting process from the very beginning. But it was, you know, it was an open discussion,
Yeah.
pretty much all the time. You know, Greg had not been writing a ton at that time, so there was some effort made to kind of pull Greg back into the writing domain, so to speak, because he wasn't writing a lot. And once he and I became good enough friends, we started writing together, and I found it easy and natural. And he and I really enjoyed writing together. But it took a year or two.
You ever have any songs where you thought it's a great song and they just said that's a piece of shit song?
Sorry, new guy.
Sorry,
Mine
new
or
guy.
theirs?
No, you bring a song to the table to them. You're like, man, I fucking love this. Is a great song, and they're like, nah, this ain't it.
No, I mean, because most of them we were writing together.
Oh, cool.
But and once again, I don't want to keep dwelling on Soulshine, but the way Soulshine came about as an Allman Brothers song was when we were making that record Where It All Begins. Tom Dowd, the legendary producer, was producing it, and we had recorded every song that we rehearsed and had planned for the record. And we miraculously found ourselves ahead of schedule with extra studio time at the end. And Tom Dowd came in and said, "Hey guys, we're ahead of schedule. Have anybody got any songs that we should record in addition to what we've done?" And Greg turned to me and said, "Hey man, let's do your song Soulshine."
Holy
Up until
shit.
that point, he had never mentioned it to me, and I knew that he liked the song, but I never knew that he thought of it as an Allman Brothers song.
Oh my God.
And so that was a last minute thing. That's the last thing we recorded for that record.
Damn.
Oh my! And then what the producers think of that song? Like, holy shit, this is the tune.
Well, Tom loved it, and he was familiar with the song and was glad that we chose it. But up until that moment, I really didn't know where everybody stood on it.
As a songwriter, what song do you think is your opus?
Oh man, I don't know. That's a hard one. I mean, some of the ballads are the more personal, kind of intimate ones. Songs like "My Separate Reality" and "Towering Fool," "Nothing Again," "I Shall Return." Because from a songwriting standpoint, you can really pour your soul into the ballads. But I love, stuff like "Thorazine Shuffle" and "Blind Man in the Dark."
Mm-hmm.
But That's a tough question for me to answer because, you know, most writers want to keep moving forward and not look back at what they did in the past. And so I'm always looking for a method and a reason to kind of travel down a new path, you know.
Are there any songs that you're like, God, I have to play this fucking song again?
Say it again.
Hey, is there any song where you're just like that, you know, the fans love it, but you just don't want to fucking play it anymore?
Right.
Well, I mean, now we're talking about Soulshine again. Part of our thing, you know, part of our thing is we don't do the same set list every night. We'll go 3 or 4 nights without repeating a song. Lately, we've been repeating Soulshine a lot because people really want to hear it.
Right.
I would probably prefer to play it less, but if we don't play it, the new fans that are coming for the first time are going to get pissed off.
Right.
Interesting. But we're lucky in the way that we don't do the same show. And so if there's a song I'm sick of, we'll just kind of not play it for a while, you know. But I've been lucky, I think, that there are not many songs that I've recorded that I wish I hadn't. It's more about staying excited about it. And sometimes that means reinventing it and playing it different. You know?
Yeah. Are there any songs that are just so hard for you to sing? Like it just brings you back to the moment you wrote it?
Of mine, yeah. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I can still do everything from a vocal standpoint that I did
yeah, you're a badass
30 years ago. There are a few things that you know, there are a few notes that are a little tough to hit. Trying to think of
what about
an
emotionally?
Example.
Like the lyrically, like brings you back into this moment. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, like there's a song on my solo record, Ashes and Dust. There's a song called Company Man that I wrote about my dad. And it's the most honest version of that song I could possibly deliver. I wanted every word to be the truth. And my dad passed during COVID, and he was a great person and a really great role model for me. But he had a tough life, and the first 4 or 5 times I sang that song, I started crying in the middle of singing it. So I knew I had to do it a bunch of times before we got into the studio because I didn't want to start crying in the middle of a take.
Right.
Now when I do it, you know, sometimes I get emotional, but I'm kind of past that part of it, you know.
What about that song that makes you emotional? Like, give me some details of your father's life that makes you feel like that song is so heavy for you.
Well, the song's called Company Man. And it's about him and his principles and his values and not caving into the pressure of doing something you know is not in your heart. You know, my dad lost his job when he was in his 50s, and they told him if he relocated, he could continue to work for the same company, but he didn't want to relocate. So he quit and started over and got a job in a factory. And, you know, the whole concept of, I never wanted to be a company man, you know. My dad was a really good singer, but he never pursued music. And so I think one of the reasons that he supported me so much is that he knew how much I loved it. And he, in the back of his mind, he probably would have loved to have tried to make some sort of something happen as a singer, but he never did. You know?
What has he taught you? That's fucking beautiful. Because a lot of, you know, it's like, what has he taught you about being a dad that you brought to your fatherhood?
You know, whenever anything comes up that I think is a bit too challenging and can I deal with this? Can I do it? I just think about the way he would have dealt with it, which was basically, this is your job. You fucking do it.
Right. Yeah, that's, I mean,
so simple, but it's so hard to achieve.
Yeah, man. I mean, you inspired me. I mean, I'm on year 15 now doing 200 plus shows a year, Warren, and I see you guys doing it, and like you're the reason why we're fucking running. I mean, Kevin Scott is one of my closest buddies. I love Kevin.
Yeah.
He's fucking insane.
Yeah, what's it like having a crazy guy
Yeah,
in
what's
your
it
band?
like having a crazy person in your band?
Hell yeah. He's also a badass bass player. We should
I
have.
mean, he's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, just I love every
he's
personality he has.
Yeah, Kevin has brought his personality into Gov't Mule and into my solo project, and it's such a beautiful, welcome interjection of personality. He's fantastic, and we love hanging together. You know, I think we're all a bit crazy, and so we need company. You know?
Totally. Do you think having Kevin in the band is kind of like you joining Allman Brothers in '89? Kind of give you a boost of, you know, spark it up a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, from two different angles, I guess. I think you're thinking about it from my perspective or
Yeah.
from the band's perspective, because he brings this energy and it's just inspiring.
Yeah.
But also the other side of it being that he told me that he was a big Gov't Mule fan. So when he became enamored with Mule, I think he was still in high school.
Oh,
Wow.
Which is not quite as young as I was when I became a huge Allman Brothers fan, but I was such an Allman Brothers fan that I'm sure that has a lot to do with why I was the right person for the job.
Yeah. No, totally. You know, it's like,
he's a Southern guy too, right, Kevin?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's from Dothan, Alabama.
Oh, wow.
No, I think about that. You know, I want to go back to this idea of company, man. Have you ever had a point in your life where you just said, "Fuck it, I don't want to play guitar anymore. I don't want to sing anymore. I want to change it up"? Or was that never? Was that ever like you ever have a moment like that, like some like existential crisis, Warren?
No, I've never wanted to give up music. I've had thoughts about changing my direction from a career standpoint, but let's go back to when I moved to Nashville when I was 23. My idea was that I wanted to be a studio musician. I wanted to be a session guitar player,
Right.
and you know, obviously, and a songwriter. But I grew up in Asheville, which was 5 hours away, so Nashville was the obvious choice. I didn't want to go to New York or LA at that time. That would eventually change. But after a few years of working really hard to become a session guitar player, about the time that I was starting to make headway and get work and get some sort of reputation in town, I also realized that that's not what I wanted to do, that I wanted to either be in a band where I was the singer-songwriter or one of the singer-songwriters, or I wanted to be a solo artist, but I didn't want to do what the producer told me to do anymore. I didn't want to be a chameleon, because to be a session musician, you kind of shed your own personality. You kind of take on whatever personality is needed at that moment. And at that time in Nashville, you know, I was getting some decent work, but it was not fun. It was not inspiring. And so I that drove me to the point of being like, I've got to do my own music. So before it was too late, I made that decision that this is not for me.
Company man. You don't want to be a company man.
You don't want to be a company man. That's why you felt so bad that your dad was a company man.
Yeah, you know, because he did it to raise kids, and I didn't have kids at the time.
Yeah.
And that was obviously one of the reasons that I waited a long time to have a kid, was because I didn't want to be the absentee dad. You know,
Right.
my dad spent his whole life making sure that his kids were okay, and it kept him from being able to do anything for himself.
Yeah.
And so I knew that in the back of my mind that in order for me to achieve what I wanted to achieve, if I did it having a family early on, I would be the guy that's never there, and I didn't want to do that.
Yeah, it's you know, it's like the idea of like you know, I think about love. are we ever gonna love anything as much as we love our music? And I'd like to ask you that. Like, how long did it take until you found something that you love just as much as your songs and music?
Well, having a kid changes everything because for the first time, you realize this whole thing with placing something above yourself. And it just kind of happens automatically. People tell you that's going to happen, but you don't really believe it until it does. But if you work hard and try to make the right decisions and dust yourself off when you don't, you can not have it all, but you can have both worlds,
Right. Have you ever been broke in your life? Like later in your life?
Later in my life, no. I've had pretty lean years later in life, but
by choice?
When I moved to Nashville in the 80s, we had 6 people living in a 3-bedroom house, and we were still like months behind on our rent.
Holy shit.
I mean, broke.
Yeah.
Like so broke I couldn't afford gas to go home,
Jesus.
But when you're in your 20s, that's something you can deal with.
Yeah.
It's almost fun sometimes. Like
what was Nashville like back then? Yeah, it was kind of fun. I remember that. What was Nashville like? Was with all those outlaw guys and those Hank William Juniors and like, what was it like? Was it just fucking drug fueled, or was it just like everyone was trying to compete? Like, was there beef on the street on who could write the better song? Was it competitive? Like, what was Nashville like back then? Because that's when it was starting to pop off.
Yeah, the reason that I went to Nashville was because my first gig as a professional musician was with David Allan Coe, who was like the fucking outlaw personified,
Holy shit.
And so, and it was kind of weird the way that whole thing came about. I wasn't familiar with his music or his lifestyle. And his bass player recommended me for the gig, and I was 19 or 20. And I said, I'm not really interested in playing country music. And he said that he wanted to add a blues rock guitar player to his band to add an edge to the music. And I was young and cocky and said, well, if I can play like myself, I might be interested. But if you want me to play like somebody else, probably not.
Why I fucking love you. This is why you're the GOAT, dude. This is why you're the GOAT, dude.
20 years old, by the way.
But, or stupid, maybe. But I think he liked that, he liked that part and said, come on down. But I didn't know what I was getting into. It was like being in a band that was more like a biker gang.
Yeah.
And that whole atmosphere and lifestyle centered around bikers and motorcycles and craziness that a little hippie mountain kid from Asheville was not prepared for.
So it's all real.
That's real shit. So it's real. It's not fake.
It's not an act, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I had been in the band less than 3 months before somebody pulled a gun on us.
Hold on. Tell us that story. Tell that story. What happened?
Well, we were
fucking crazy.
I might have to tell it to you off camera. Actually, it's more exciting if I could.
Yeah, tell me.
Story redacted.
Yeah, story redacted. Was there?
It was a club. I'll just give you the Cliff's Notes version. We were playing a club in Kentucky, and we were late showing up. And when we got there, Coe decided that the stage was too small for us to set up on. So he told the owner of the club we were going to set up in the floor. And they got into an argument about it, and it wound up with them like getting in each other's faces. And Coe said, fuck it, we're out, we're not playing. And we started to leave, and a bunch of cats with guns kind of surrounded us, and the owner of the club had an AR.
Oh my
Holy
God.
And he's pointed at Coe, and I'm like 5 feet away, thinking, I guess I should have gone to college after all.
Maybe I shouldn't have wanted to play like myself.
Hold on. Were you scared?
Maybe I shouldn't have been so cocky.
Yeah.
Were you scared?
Yeah, and so the next gig was in Knoxville, and Coe went on stage wearing a bulletproof vest. It was
Damn.
that's the crazy shit that I got myself into without knowing.
God.
But
Confidence is a
silver
hell of a
lining
drug,
to every
Warren.
story. What's that?
Confidence is a hell of a drug.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but Coe knew that I was a big Allman Brothers fan, so he made a point of introducing me to Dickie Betts and Greg Allman, which wound up establishing that relationship. So, as crazy as that whole thing was, I owe him that.
You're like, get me the fuck out of here. I do not want to
Please
hang out with
introduce me
guns.
to-
Please introduce me some hippies, please, God.
I know they say never meet your heroes, but please introduce me to my heroes.
Gardenista. I had a great story about this. I went on a date. She kind of was looking at me funny because I was kept on asking for Jameson on the rocks at this really fancy restaurant. So I saw Gardenista. These guys are my sponsors. I thought it'd be cool to say, hey, I'll grab Gardenista on ice. And I did. And she So do you want to be a dirtbag? Fucking drink Jameson. But if you want to be sophisticated, go to Gardenista, drink some on ice, and tell them Frasco sent you. Any beef? Any guitar player beef? Has there anyone in the past that you just you guys just never liked each other?
No, not that I can think of off the top of my head. I tend to get along with people in general pretty good, and I find that most serious musicians are pretty open-minded people. Usually the biggest assholes also don't take their music as serious.
Yeah.
That's not a steadfast rule, but that happens a lot. And you always wonder, why is this guy an asshole? He's not good enough to be a fucking asshole.
That's so true, man.
That's so true, dude.
It's always the medium guys.
It's always the medium guys who are trying to fucking act bigger because they're hiding something.
Right. It's called insecurity.
Yeah, because they're bluffing their way through.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I'm a dick.
Yeah, it's true, actually, Nick. That's exactly true. Have you how do you stay inspired to get better at guitar and get better at songwriting? Any things you could teach me? I mean, I'm on my second 10,000 hours. You're probably on your third, fourth, fifth.
Let's not date the guy too much here.
But it's about hours of work.
I'm kidding. Okay.
How do you keep how do you keep sharpening the tools? What I'm asking you, or keep sharpening the blade?
Well, I'm lucky to be surrounded by so many great musicians. That's really inspiring. And also, I think if you compare yourself to the people that you absolutely think are the top of the heap, and strive to get there, in your own mind, you're never going to get there.
Right.
But it keeps you motivated, and it keeps you reminded of how far you still have to go, and why you do it in the first place, and the difference between accepting mediocrity and striving for greatness. I think whenever I'm bummed out, I go listen to the stuff that I think is the greatest music of all times, and it'll put you in your place pretty quick.
Yeah, I definitely get humbled by that, especially nowadays where I'm I'm opening for you, and I'm like, that's very humbling. I'm like,
What do I
fuck.
do? What
What
do I
the
do?
fuck? I'm like, it's like a lot of this thing, or watching Kevin Scott play one of his jazz wrestling shows. I see that, and I'm like, oh my God. So it's I guess the question is like, what drives you, Warren? What makes you want to keep writing songs? Like, what is it in it that you're searching for in songwriting that keeps you going too? You know?
Well, this is weird to say, and it probably sounds cliche, but and I've heard a lot of people say it, that the feeling that I haven't written my best song yet, and I'm not saying that I have or haven't, but I have that feeling where I know there's a song in the hopefully not so distant future that I will feel in my heart is one of my best songs. And I feel like the last Gov't Mule record and my last solo record had some of my best songs on them. And someone else may disagree, that's their prerogative. But I know how the songs make me feel when I write them. And we know as writers, we know when we wrote something that is meets our own critique, and I feel like somehow the whole COVID lockdown experience forced songwriters into this situation where to keep your sanity, you had to utilize that time to write as much music as possible. And for me, it worked because I was going nuts not being able to tour or travel, perform on stage. So I just sunk myself deep into this writing process. And then once we could be around each other and get in the studio, Gov't Mule made 2 records at the same time. And it carried us through until we could start playing again, which it was just so fucking scary to not know if the music business was changing in a permanent way.
And especially if you're a live band, you know, you make your living on the road, you know?
Absolutely.
That's scary.
And, we've seen that change so much because when the whole free music thing started happening and bands and artists and songwriters were not getting paid for their work like they used to, and sales went down, record sales, airplay, everything went down. The bands that were accustomed to hit records and album sales and radio play got hit the hardest. Bands that were live bands that depended on touring kind of were already in that mode somewhat. So we just kind of continued doing what we did. Whereas a lot of commercially successful bands found themselves having to tour way more than they had ever thought about.
Right.
And it would be a little scary. And then you go fast forward to the COVID thing and where's this all going to go? But now we're on the other side of it and every band is touring at the same time. Which is
now it's cannibalism.
Crazy.
Right.
Now it's fucked up.
Yeah.
I think it's the same. It's like everyone's stepping on each other's toes and everyone's raising the prices on tickets. That how is this a sustainable thing for the live music economy?
Yeah, that I hate. I hate the fact that a lot of music fans can't afford to go to the shows. It's crazy, and I love that bands like Pearl Jam are trying to be so fan friendly and keep ticket prices down and always have affordable tickets of some sort. But when I was growing up, going to a concert didn't really cost that much money. Even you could go see Led Zeppelin for $10.
Right.
Not that I ever did. I never saw Led Zeppelin, but the fact now that people spend thousands of dollars on a concert experience is just crazy to me. And it's definitely gotten out of hand. And I agree with you 100% on that.
Come see Warren Haynes in a bathing suit for $1,500.
Yeah, right.
You know,
you can either put a down payment on a house or go see Gov't Mule. Everybody,
come see Andy Frasco drink shitty tequila for $1,500. You know,
in Mexico,
in American-made Mexico.
Yeah.
You know what else I was thinking too? I was thinking about you when you during your Costa Rica trip when you fucked up. You fucked up your shoulder?
Scapula, yeah.
Scapula?
Yeah.
Was that a scary moment? Was that the longest you ever couldn't play guitar? Like what was going through your head then?
3 months. I couldn't play for 3 months. And once I was told that I didn't have to have surgery, that it would actually heal on its own, then I was able to kind of relax it a little bit. But up until that moment, I was scared shitless. You know, I remember the story about Les Paul breaking his arm and having them set his arm in a position where he could play guitar.
Oh my
God. I've never heard that actually.
That always freaked me out, you know. And obviously with your shoulder blade, it's a different thing, but I've never gone 3 months without playing. I've never had to cancel tours. You know, it was just a frightening time. And to be on a family vacation, having a wonderful fucking time, and then the next moment, everything goes crazy because of falling and breaking my fucking shoulder.
What happened? Like what happened?
Go play.
Give me a play-by-play.
I had just come from the pool and gotten a massage, and I don't know if the bottom of my feet were still oily or what, but I fell and hit it and landed on a step.
Oh my God.
And my shoulder blade hit as perfectly on the step as you could possibly hit. And I was in immense pain, more than I've ever been in my life. And I knew at that moment that it was bad. And then I had to get in an ambulance and go about an hour to the closest hospital.
Oh my God. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Oh, fuck all that, dude.
A bumpy mountain road. And I'm in the back of the ambulance. And they wouldn't give me morphine until they figured out if it was broken or not. And the first X-ray, they couldn't see the break, and the doctor was great. The hospital was great. Everything about that experience was really top notch. But they said, okay, well now we want to give you a MRI, and when they did, he saw the break, and he's like, okay, it's broken. You can have morphine. And at least for 20 minutes, I felt okay again. You know, it starts wearing off, but I've never broken a bone. I've never,
me either.
Never experienced that kind of pain before.
This is the difference between why Americans are addicted to opiates versus other people. Because like every other country is like, we're not giving you that shit.
Yeah.
We're not giving you that shit unless you are absolutely broken. In America, they're like, we have a headache. All right, here's morphine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's sad. Damn, that must have been scary, man. Did you think your career was over?
It crossed my mind, yeah. And you know, once I got back to the States and saw a doctor, and he said, you're not going to have surgery, and it's going to take about 3 months before you can play guitar, but you're going to be fine. Then I at that point I started to kind of relax a little bit, but it was scary. And in the moment, you know, when it first happens, it freaked me the fuck out.
Especially in fucking Costa Rica. You're not like in America.
Right.
You're in a different country, and you're far away from any civilization.
You're not by the Mayo Clinic.
You're not by the Mayo Clinic.
Yeah.
I want to talk before I let you go. Thanks for your time, man. I always love talking to you. You're great. You're always so awesome. I can't wait to hang out with you for a week. It's gonna be fun touring with you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the show we're doing, man. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, you know, I want to talk about this new record, Whisper Sessions. What's the philosophy on making an acoustic record versus making a live record? What's your philosophy of how to get the intimacy and how to get the ups and downs of a record, even acoustically?
Well, this record came about in a weird way. It was kind of like an afterthought. after we did Million Voices Whisper, I went into Power Station in New England to film some promo videos of me doing some of the songs by myself. And I wasn't thinking about releasing it as a commercial release at that time. It was just just a promo thing. And we continued that process and went to a few different locations, and I did a few songs with Derek Trucks. And when I started listening back to them, I was getting a sense of how those performances kind of would give the listener some insight into where the songs came from before they turned into full band arrangements and productions.
Yeah.
And it was kind of, I thought, at least the hardcore fans would love this. And then we started talking about it with our team and the management and the record company. And everybody was like, I think even beyond the hardcore fans, there's something there. What about putting out like a companion piece? So all but 2 of the songs are from Million Voices Whisper. There's 3 that I did with Derek, but the ones that I did by myself, I'm just accompanying the vocal. I'm not really doing anything fancy on the guitar. And it's, singer-songwriter mode. And I love going there. I don't get an opportunity to do it that much. And so when I do it, I really enjoy it. It's another side of me and a kind of seeing things from an angle that most people haven't seen or heard from me. And it's interesting because the focus becomes on my voice and the songs themselves and not the guitar. And then that changes for this, like I said, with the stuff that Derek and I did together, we kind of back each other. And, it's just, of all the releases that I've done, this one is completely different than anything I've done before.
Yeah, that's great. And also it's like, how do you build intimacy when you have to strip down? Like, what's your philosophy on intimacy when you're super stripped down? Like, is it how you approach the vocals, how you approach the guitar tone?
I love the way I'm allowed to sing in a different way when there's no band.
Yeah.
It's not something that I think about consciously. I sing differently when I'm playing by myself than I do when I'm singing with a band. And I'm sure everyone feels the same way that has had that opportunity. It's like when I do solo performances, I don't have to worry about whether or not I remember the arrangement of the song. I don't have to worry about a set list. I don't have to worry about how I did it the last time I did it. It doesn't matter because I'm by myself. I can make my way through it, and I enjoy that, but it does cause me and allow me to sing differently, which is nice. When I think about with Greg Allman, who I spent so much time with, when Greg played acoustic, his voice was completely different than when he was singing on top of the Allman Brothers.
Yeah.
And that's why the song Melissa has such a special place in my heart, because I love that side of him, that acoustic side of him, and the way he sang stripped down like that. So Derek and I decided to do Melissa on this release, and it's beautifully intimate.
Yeah. I love that version. We were just listening to it before. I was thinking, like, what about, like, do you give a shit what traditional fans think of it? Like, because it's not the version. Do they want it to be perfect, or do you care what they have to say about it? Like how your heroes did it versus how you did the song? How do you feel about that?
No, I mean, I wouldn't want to cover anything, especially for an official release, if it wasn't different from the original.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
You're not a robot.
Yeah, and B, if I like it, I have to assume that other people are gonna like it too, because I'm my own worst critic, I think. You know, there's sometimes that I might find flaw in a performance and other people go, "No, there's nothing wrong with this. It's great." And I think, "Well, no, I don't like this, I don't like that." So if it makes it past me, it's usually, I think good enough for people to like it. But, you know, you never know what even your hardcore fans are gonna like, and
Right.
I can't really worry that much about that. You know, I think I've always said that we have to please ourselves first, and if people know you're happy doing what you're doing, then it makes them feel.
What are you more critical about, your vocals or your guitar?
Probably vocals because, you know, it if you're having a great night vocally, everything just flows, and if you're having a tough night, you can't
Right.
make it happen.
Right.
You know,
I
your
get so
voice.
pissed off.
Yeah, you know, it's a human thing. There's nothing you can do about it. Everybody has bad nights. Um, to the extent that some people cancel shows based on it. But uh, I think that's the most vulnerable thing. I think that's the thing I'm most critical of. Um, but you never know. Some nights you might think my voice sounds like shit, and then you walk on stage and everything's fine,
Right.
and vice versa. You know, you might wake up and go, "Wow, my voice is in great shape to do it tonight," and then you walk on stage and it's not working. It's just it's unpredictable.
What about, I always think too, like, I always think like in the mornings, I think the venues help too. Like there's like, like the Fillmore West or like these rooms that have so much enriched some ghosts and soul.
Yeah.
Like you get that sometimes with rooms. Like what are your favorite rooms to play?
Yeah, absolutely. I just played the Fillmore recently for the first time in a long time, and you're reminded of the spirit that's in that room.
Right.
All the people, all the great recordings that have been done there, and it also you can hear it. You know, in the sound with the sound reverberating off the
Oh
walls.
yeah.
You hear that sound, and it's inspiring. I think a great room can definitely inspire you to uh, perform your best, and vice versa. Some rooms sound like shit, and it's hard to have a great night. You know.
Yeah. Well, Warren, you're the fucking man. I don't know what to. I mean, I could talk to you forever. I want when we get on tour together. Let's have some coffee and let's just shoot the shit, man. I would love to just pick your brain and be your buddy because I talked to
I'm
Kevin,
in, man.
but let's do it. Warren Haynes, thanks for being on the show. Grab the Whisper Sessions. It is a Warren record, not a Gov't Mule record.
Solo album.
It's a fucking solo record. It's like Tupac Shakur when he got out of
Didn't have to pay a drummer.
Didn't have to pay a drummer. It's him and Derek Trucks. One more question, and then I'll let you go. You've watched Derek grow so much. Have you seen a difference in his mentality in his later life versus his younger life, or has he always been the same guy?
You mean musically or personally?
Let's go both.
Or both?
Let's go both.
Well, I've known Derek since he was 11.
Yeah.
And
it's crazy.
At 11, he was already playing incredibly well. I watched him year by year get better and better and better and better, which is an amazing feat in itself. Then, when he had his own band and being forced at a young age to be a band leader, you could see how it caused him to look at the overall picture as opposed to just being a guitar player.
Right.
And especially once they started Tedeschi Trucks Band with such a big, powerful band like that, to be able to navigate that and to be the person that everyone's looking to make the decisions on what needs to happen, that that requires a whole different insight into the music. That, you know, not everybody's cut out for being a band leader, and I think he's really good at it, and is an amazing musician. And I'm we've been writing together recently, and I really enjoy the stuff we're writing together. So I think he's just kind of continuing to grow, which is amazing, you know, this far down the line. But hey, that's what we're here for. If we don't do that, it's not. It gets harder the older you get, but it's what we have to do. Either that, or you you know, you don't want to rest on your laurels. You don't want to quit. You got to keep pushing for new inspiration.
Right. And he's a Jacksonville Jaguar fan. That humbles you.
He is?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's from Jacksonville. Yeah.
God, that team is hot garbage.
It's crazy. It's crazy to think that he's still getting better, especially when you consider where he started. It's like,
yeah, like these.
Yeah,
it's pretty crazy. Well, he's got mentors like fucking Warren.
True.
He's got guys like you in his corner.
Yeah.
Dude. What about the songwriting?
You know,
is he getting better at songwriting too? It's fucking rad. Well, keep being a badass. Keep being everyone's mentor, Warren. You're our mentor too. I can't wait to hang out with you in a couple weeks. And you know, tell everyone I say hello, and I can't wait to hang out with you and Kevin in a couple weeks.
yeah, man. Looking forward to it.
Enjoy yourself, Warren. Thanks for being on the show.
All right, brother.
Later, bud.
Bye-bye.
That was great.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fun. Warren fucking Haynes. Look at us.
I start crying.